InObscuria.
Welcome back, my friends, to the InObscuria podcast, a podcast where we exhume obscure rock and punk and metal, and we put them in one of three categories: the lost, the forgotten, or the should-have-beens. My name is Kevin Williams. That over there is Robert Harris.
All day long.
That's right.
And tomorrow.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. And what is going on with Robert this week? What do we need to know about? What do the people need to know about this
Kevin,
week?
my family is complete once again. Everybody is back home.
Okay.
The tiny tractor came home today.
It's parked where I usually park, so I almost hit
spot.
it.
Sorry. We're just some shuffling around of vehicles.
Do you own said tractor now?
Making payments.
I see.
So at some point.
It's on a payment plan.
It's on a payment plan.
It's on layaway.
Layaway, yeah.
Okay,
So basically long-term layaway. So I didn't have to make last month's payment because my friend did. So I loaned it to him for a month, and he played with it and did some things around his barn. He actually has a barn, like a real barn, not just a shed that he calls a barn like my dad did. And so we had a lawnmower that he would refer to as the tractor. It embarrassed the hell out of me constantly. That was his favorite pastime.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Yeah, so I've got the tractor home, the tiny fire truck's here, the big fire truck's running again. I've got one last vehicle to get running, as you know, that's in a decrepit state of disrepair. And currently it is in my garage upside down.
What the hell did you just say?
Now, you've talked about, have we said what it is?
I think
we have.
I don't know.
You don't remember. You're not going to remember if we didn't cover it last week, did we?
If it's not important, I don't remember.
Okay. Well, do you want to tell people what it is that's on the rotisserie?
It is a rat-infested, rusted-out Porsche 911.
Nice.
1975.
With some very interesting rusty marks or paint or whatever that is.
It's called patina.
Yes, patina.
Patina. That means it's worth more. If it's just rusty, it's bad. If it has a patina, it's more expensive.
Yeah, and monkeys might fly out of my butt.
See, always learning. Always learning on this
So,
thing.
it is upside down in my garage. We turned it upside down today to look at the bottom, and then a whole bunch of stuff fell out on the floor, so I have to go sweep that up. But I need you to help me flip it back. It's like a turtle upside down right now, so I need you to help me flip it back over just so I can continue working on it.
Is this whole rotisserie thing, is this new? Is this like a new invention, or has this been around for a while? I've never seen it.
In like professional car repair shops, it's been around a while. So people will refer to a rotisserie restoration, meaning nut and bolt. Like they've taken this entire car apart and flipped it all around and fixed everything. That usually means it's more expensive. And so I bought one just because I didn't want to lay on the floor for 6 months.
Right, exactly.
And have this crap falling in my face. So I paid for the rotisserie, which is normally, like I said, in like a professional repair shop, but it's in my garage.
So this will be a full rotisserie with a patina, which means it's really going to be expensive.
No, but you would think it's still going to be worth the same amount.
Still going to be a piece of shit.
But it's going to be an artistic piece of shit. It's going to be the world's fastest sculpture. So because it's rusty, I don't worry about restoring it to like perfection. If you know anybody that has a Porsche, these guys are usually douchebags, and they
I know one of those guys. Sorry,
not this one.
Oh, right.
No, I'm not that guy. No, but they brag about how fancy they are and how nice it is and how much they spend on the restoration. So I cannot wait to bring this rusty piece of crap to a Porsche car show and just park it right in the middle and walk
I know
away.
You will.
Oh, I will. I'm counting the days. I'm like looking at the schedule. What's the first one I can go to? Like I'm not even putting the doors on it.
Do they put like signage up around the car so you can get like a cardboard with like marker and put up beside it?
Like I'll find my neighbor's kids. Actually, my handwriting's the same, so
right.
I'll just do it.
But do it on like ripped up cardboard.
Yeah, the least professional I could possibly do, and have like tetanus warning shit. Like, careful, you could get tetanus if you get too close to this.
An easel made out of coat hangers.
Okay, all these are great ideas. Yeah, whatever I can do to just stick a finger right at them because I get tired of that. It's like they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on these cars and they park it in their garage and they brag to their friends that they have this car in their garage. That's not what they were built for. They were built for driving and racing. So that's what I intend to do to mine. I'm going to drive the hell out of it. Once again, it doesn't have doors. That's okay. Dukes of Hazzard, well, they had doors, but no windows.
Put some netting up,
I'm
like
put some
old
netting.
school
Yep.
NASCAR, right?
My friend was over today talking about that, where I could get some of that netting to put up on it. But it's Georgia. I don't think we even have to have doors on our cars in Georgia. They don't have inspections like they do. They up north, people up in the northern parts, they have inspections.
Well, it's because they have bad weather.
I guess so. They don't care here.
Yeah, they don't want you hitting ice and then falling out of the car.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll be doing donuts in the parking lot with no doors, just holding on for dear life.
That's the fun of the game. Can you stay in?
Yes. the beauty of it is I can park it anywhere I want to, and people will avoid me.
Yeah, they'll give you space.
Yeah, instead of me worrying about a door ding, because you get a nice car, what do you worry about? Somebody's going to ding your door. My other car, it's got 2 door dings, and it pisses me off every time I see them. This rusty piece of crap, nope, I'm going to be that guy.
Well, now I'm excited to see this thing get to completion in,
you
what,
knew
2
I
years?
wasn't going to do the normal, like a fancy restoration. What's the joy in that? You know, people can write a check, and you got a fancy car, big deal. But can you take a car and make it a sculpture?
Here endeth the lesson.
Can it also shoot flames?
Well, of course.
All right, good.
I mean, you know me.
All right, awesome. Any reason for me to hit a certain button by chance?
Yeah, let's go ahead and just get that out of the way.
All right, we'll go ahead and do that.
That's right, Munchketeers. It's time to get your grub on with the chef that can give it to you funky style.
Roberts, Gardner Eaton. That's right now, Roberts, Gardner Eaton.
All right, I took a break from the maligned foods thing and made fancy food again.
Oh, here we go.
I made paella.
What the hell you say?
Oh,
And I can't say it without
I don't think
sounding
that's
like
how you
Florida
say
man.
it, is it?
I can't say it the right way.
Paella.
The harder I try, the worse it gets. Paella. Like Vidalia onions and Georgia.
I don't think that's right.
I know it's not right, but I get, like I said, the more I overthink it, it comes out wrong. So I just have to say it really fast. Paella.
There you go.
Yeah,
that sounds better.
That sounds better. But
Yeah.
like I said,
Paola.
the Florida man comes out. Paella. Cures what ails you. But I made paella, and
Paella.
it's a Spanish rice dish.
Has
with-
rice?
and dish.
Good.
With seafood and vegetables and stuff. And I learned the secret ingredient was saffron. So I ordered some saffron from Amazon, and I'll be damned if that's not the best stuff I've had in a long time.
Make a huge pot of it.
As huge as my pot was. And
Okay.
then I went on Amazon and ordered a bigger pot.
Okay.
Because it was not big enough and stuff was going everywhere.
Right.
I learned too late. Once I got everything in there, I was like, oh, I got to stir this.
Kind of like a wok, right? People do it in like a
basically what I ordered was
Yeah.
a big wok. So when we have flamenco night here at the firehouse, which we haven't done in a couple of years, we'll do it again. We have a friend of mine does flamenco dancing.
I remember seeing those pictures. He had a huge
two
wok
of
or
them.
whatever.
So there's 2 36-inch pans. These dudes bring in. They're stirring it with like a boat paddle, and they make paella during during the flamenco show. So my friend's, she's like 6 foot tall, dancing and all that stuff, and they take a break, like intermission, and they serve the paella.
Is that the redhead?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh,
So-
pause.
I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light.
Yep. Okay.
Six
Okay,
foot-
back to the paella.
6 feet tall. That's right. Mike's falling down. So yeah, I did it myself. After watching these chefs do it professionally, I learned their tricks and remembered how they did it, and it turned out damn good. So I'll have to make you some because there's none left.
Make sure, people, that you're listening to Pot of Thunder, Cobras and Fire, Growing Up Rock, Slamfest Podcast, Decibel Geek, A to Z Radio, Metal Up Your Podcast, The Hustle, Disciples of the Watch, Podcast Rock City, Sean Geek and Fast Fret Podcast, State of Amorica, Rock Strikes 10, Potter Than Hell, Shout It Out Loudcast, The Ron Keel Podcast, The Kiss Room, Ages of Rock, Retros S Podcast, and don't forget about Monty.
Hey, it's Monty.
Monty's Rockcast. Come visit us, InObscuria.com. Like us, share us, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Okay, I'm going to give you a little corporate speak here because...
Oh, you know how much I love that.
Yeah, I know you do. And I know you don't live in this world, so I'm going to help you.
We're going to effort something.
No, this is a new one. So it's not a new word, but it's really used a lot, overused a lot in the corporate world now. So this week, Robert, we are having to do what we call a pivot.
Oh, God.
Yes.
All right, okay. Here we go. All right. Ready? Yeah. Turn. Okay. Turn.
I just don't think it's gonna fit.
Oh, yeah, it will. Come on, up. Oh. Here we go. Pivot. 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 Pivot.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
All right, so I know that last week we discussed on our Bob Dylan episode that we would be doing in consecutive order Neil Young next
God.
and then Lou Reed.
Yes.
I know that Captain Content approved this and we were going to move forward with
You
this.
were incorrect, sir.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Roll the tape. Incorrect.
Well, we'll do that. And it's proven right here.
I think
you,
I
sir.
proved the point that you made, that Captain Content said the Dylan factor is that Bob Dylan wrote great songs, but Bob Dylan didn't record great songs. It was really when other artists interpreted his songs.
And the next
that
episode is
they're
going to be
amazing.
Neil Young. Because same thing can be said about him.
Wow.
I don't want to hear it.
Throwing down the gauntlet.
I want to hear the music, but not
We're going to do, this is actually a trilogy of episodes.
strangling a cat, man.
We're doing Dylan, and then we're doing Neil Young.
Yeah.
And then we're doing Lou Reed. So our listenership is going to plummet.
Well, let's just drive it.
But that's not going to happen today because actually our corporate is here.
Yes.
As you remember, last year we got our sponsorship with the Tony Awards, and the powers that be, our corporate sponsors, have decided to do what they call an audit.
Like a site visit?
A site visit, and yes, they're going to visit us. So I hope you have the things that I ordered here ready. We're going to need to roll out the Ouija board carpet, and I believe a limo will be coming very, very soon. But did you get the smoke machine by chance?
I think it's over around the corner. I
Okay.
left it in the garage. It was leaking.
Okay, because I'll tell you what, I think I've just got note that the limo is pulling around. So go ahead, let's fire that smoke machine up here real quick and just make sure it's working. And then I'm going to tell the band. And if you can go ahead and open the door and let the folks in that we invited, please. All right, let's test that smoke machine. Okay, the folks are coming in. Cool, it works fine.
Did
All
you
right.
get the flame effects?
Yeah, and so, all right, here we go. Okay, the limo is coming down the driveway.
All right.
White limo.
Standing by.
Of course.
I got my earpiece in. Check
Yep.
1, 2. Check
Yep.
1, 2. Earpiece.
Okay, it's just pulled up, and the driver is out. Okay, he's opening the
A
door.
little more smoke.
Corporate is here. We're going to blow it in a second. Wait until he gets down the carpet.
We blow smoke up his ass.
Blow smoke up his ass, yes. All right, he's coming, and it's almost here.
And go for smoke.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, metalheads, moshers, and punkers, please give it up for the puppet master himself, Mr. Tony Griggs.
All right, get all these people out of here. Get out of here. All right, go. It's time for y'all to go. Go.
The smoke.
Leave. All right, we get it, people. That's enough.
Open the door. Open the window.
Go.
It's gonna be sticky now.
Yeah. Chant. Chant down the street, would you? All right. So, yes, we have Mr. Tony Griggs. He is here from corporate. Tony, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing really well, thank you.
All right. Well, so glad that you could come and do the audit yourself personally. Thank you for your sponsorship,
Oh,
of course.
well, you're welcome.
How long have you worked for Pantheon Network?
What the hell did you just say?
A couple years now that I'm willing to say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't know they were our sponsor.
Yeah. We've been worried about getting kicked off the Pantheon Network a few times, so we pushed the limits.
What the hell you say?
but we've.
I don't
managed
think
to
we're
stay
on the
afloat.
Pantheon Network.
Oh, we're not.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think we're on that. But
Oh,
yeah.
man. I
No,
thought we
we're
were.
on the Tony Network.
Who's sending
but-
us all those big fat checks every week?
Oh, yeah, right. Well, Tony, man, we are so happy to have you on the show. And I guess the folks probably need to know a little something about you. So can you just give us a little bit of who you are, kind of where you're from, and then let's get into your history with rock and punk and metal.
So grew up in North Carolina, small town called Coinjock, which was fairly close to the Outer Banks. Got introduced to Kiss when I was about 6 years old.
What did you just say? What was that you said?
A band that wears this kind of like makeup and has platform shoes and
Dexys Midnight Runners.
No, you might know who they are.
I'm going to take a guess.
What's that
Take,
on your
take,
shirt?
take a
What does
guess.
it say on
Oh
your
yeah,
shirt?
they're on my shirt. So
Oh,
that's
those
a dead
guys.
giveaway.
Kiss. There's
With
your
a
first
K.
Kiss connection with
Number
K.
one.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, just blew your ear.
one of many tonight.
So yeah, that really started my love for music, and that started my love for hard rock, heavy metal music. You know, you start with one band and you evolve from that. Zeppelin, Purple, Aerosmith, and then I saw Iron Maiden. And everything was different at that point. Once I saw them in 1983. Quiet Ride opened up. Amazing show.
Well, I'm glad because I hired the right band to play your intro
You
music,
sure
so
did.
that's-
It was
that's great.
perfect. It was
Awesome.
perfection.
Yeah.
I'm glad my people got with your people to make sure it was done correctly.
Iron Maiden
Yes,
was your
thank you.
puberty. You became a man.
They were. It was a wake up call.
Yeah.
Now I saw Kiss when I was 8 years old.
Which tour was that?
That was Rock and Roll Over Tour.
Oh, wow.
Right at the height of their popularity.
Do
But
you remember it much, or do you just kind of
Nah.
remember certain parts of it?
I remember parts.
Yeah.
Ace Frehley's guitar solo.
With the
you know,
smoke,
yeah,
yeah.
all that. All the pyrotechnic stuff. Seeing Iron Maiden was,
First Maiden tour was which one?
the one I saw was Peace of Mind.
Wow.
Yep.
Nico's first tour.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, I saw Kiss on the Creatures of the Night tour the year before that, and Night Ranger opened up. And that was a great show, but just seeing Maiden and then seeing AC/DC and Ozzy on the Bark at the Moon tour and
God, that's all in there.
all in
Yeah.
their heyday.
all in their heyday.
Right as
all
they're
in
starting their
prime.
trajectory
Yep.
straight up. That's awesome.
It is Ozzy at his most coked up.
So, what brings you to us? Like, how did you get introduced to us? Because we have had an
As a
exchange.
podcast.
Yes, as a podcast. Yes, not so much you drove your car. I know that.
Yeah.
To get here.
No, I had someone drive me. just-
Okay, good. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
He's
true.
corporate.
It was a limo.
Yeah. So Pot of Thunder
Okay.
is how I found you. Pot
Those
of
guys.
Thunder.
Oh, this guy's.
In fact, I remember you being on one of their episodes before InObscuria even existed.
That is true.
It was just a sparkle in his eye.
I think that might have been my second podcast ever. First one I did was Decibel Geek, where I talked about Japanese metal. That's
a
a
good
horrible.
start.
Was that the only time you did that?
No, probably not. So Pot of Thunder, huh? So you
Yep.
heard me and you were like, that guy sounds like a jackass. I hope I never have to hear this again.
And then lo and behold, I found you. Because they would always post on Fridays, start with us on Mondays, finish on Fridays with InObscuria. And I was like, what is that? I thought it was a weird title. After the first listen, I was like, this is it. Because this is the stuff that I like. Because being a metal guy, you know, the 90s were rough for me. 90s were terrible for metal guys. So you've tried to find bands that still carried that torch. So the obscure bands were always what I hunted for.
Right.
And when you came on the scene in your podcast, it was perfect. It was like, this is me. This is what I'm attracted to. So
Yeah, Robert is pretty attractive,
Yeah, damn right.
especially on a podcast.
And when it's dark, when it's really dark and you can't see me, I look good.
Well, that's awesome, man. We really appreciate you because over the years, as folks know, Tony has given us a lot of suggestions for bands and tried to call you out when I play one of yours, if I remember. But yeah, man, that's awesome. That's the same thing with me. Obviously, very similar background, small town. I came on a little bit later, so I didn't get to see a lot of these bands that you mentioned at that same time. I caught them, a little bit later in the 80s or 90s. And I was a fan of the 90s because I was digging all that stuff and playing in bands at that time. But I completely understand where you're coming from. And for me, it's like once I find a groove or a type of music, I just want to consume more of it. And I want to hear other interpretations of the style.
Yep.
And so it's those rabbit holes that I go down, and I know
Yeah.
you do the same thing. So awesome. Okay, so what could we talk about today? Tony's here. I got an email from the office, head office, and they told me that it was kind of limited to what we could talk about. You wanted to hear certain things. So I have abided by that request. And today, instead of talking about, I know you wanted to talk about Neil Young,
I really
No.
did.
but instead of
No.
that, we're going to
Dear
move
God, no.
to this. Episode 225.
Damn.
Excavation, New Wave of British Heavy Metal, Part 4.
perfection.
Okay. All right.
I'll go start the tractor for some background noise while we do some excavating.
So we did our first one of these way back in episode 12 in 2020. We did part 2 in 2022. And then part 3 we did last year with the not so British bands. And if you remember, I played a certain band that you have been asking me to play more of, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
We're talking about Riot. We'll get to that at some point. Pot of Thunder just did you a solid.
They
So
sure did.
I wasn't going to do Riot yet tonight, but we'll get there eventually. But we're
But
going to
can
do...
you believe that Nick shot it down?
Well, look where we found ourselves.
All right, Hammond! I got a question for you.
1981. Paul Stanley needs to know if he should be doing music from The Elder or if he should be going in this direction. He wants to know if Swords and Tequila is a rock and roll boner. Nick, what do you think?
I guess we'll find out.
All right, it has to be unanimous by the 3 rock and roll boners in this room at this moment.
My vote's in. Mine's in. Can't do it, even though I really liked it. I just maybe there's.
No, I couldn't believe that.
I was shocked, but it's all good.
Did you send him a note, let him know that that's not acceptable?
Nah, I let him pass.
Okay,
It's all
well, that's good. All right, so do we need to explain what the new wave of British heavy metal is, or do you think we can just jump into
I think
it?
just refer them back to episodes number...
I just said it.
1, and well, we've talked about it on 15 episodes.
No, I just said to everybody listening that we did 3 episodes. This is number 4. We did episode 12. We did it again in 22 and again part 3 last year.
Exactly. That's what I said.
All right, good. I'm glad you were listening.
Yeah, just say
Thank
that.
you. Appreciate it.
That's all you had to do is say that. Exactly.
Captain Content is in the house. All right, so what is new wave of British heavy metal, Robert?
NWOBM.
Yes, sir. That's it. That's really all we have to say. It's all the stuff that gave us the great bands that you've mentioned. It gave us the Iron Maiden, the Judas Priest, Motorhead, Saxon, Def Leppard at one point in time were new wave of British heavy metal. I don't know why they don't want to admit to that now.
Yeah, I don't understand it. And the first 2 records are
those are the best.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Diamond Head,
yes.
Venom. If you want to go into the black metal, so it went the spectrum of everything that was going on in the UK at that time. Late 70s to call it mid 80s was the sweet spot for a new wave of British heavy metal, and it's all the stuff that influenced all the thrash bands, mainly Metallica. A lot of the reason that people know about the new wave of British heavy metal here in the States is because of Metallica.
And the t-shirts.
And t-shirts, yes.
Wearing their t-shirts on stage.
Bands like Trust from France.
Yes.
Okay.
And we know who the drummer was.
Yes, we do. Robert Harrison.
You do.
No.
You said we. That's not the royal we. That's the you
Give us the answer, Robert.
You two we.
Take a guess.
It was Steve Thomas.
What's wrong with you?
Steve Thomas.
From French.
Yeah,
No.
Nico McBrain was in there.
Thomas. Sorry, it was French.
Oh,
is that Nico?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thomas is not French, by the way.
It could be. If you say it weird enough. Put a little the little accent thing on it.
All right. So last time we did this, we played bands that were from the U.S., from Germany, from Japan that kind of had this sound. But we're going back to the U.K. We're just strictly staying. This is true new wave of British heavy metal. I received a book for Christmas, and it is the NWOBM Encyclopedia.
I thought you were the NWOBM Encyclopedia.
It's like 700 pages. It is a true encyclopedia.
God.
So every band, when we do these episodes from now on, is coming out of that book.
Oh my, that's a pandemic project right there.
So I'm like,
somebody
we're
was
going to
stuck
get through
inside,
this book.
was bored out of their mind. I'm going to put together an encyclopedia.
What's definitely from England because the way that it's written
is from left to right.
What the hell you say?
It is from left to right. Yes, not up
from
and
right
down.
to left.
Yes. No, but it's just some of the verbiage used and some of the spelling. I'm like,
Ye old
this
bands.
is definitely not. Yes, it's in Old English.
OLDE. Old Iron Maiden.
Thou shalt listen
to this. 4 and 7 centuries.
That was Abraham Lincoln, but okay.
I changed it. I
Okay,
didn't want
all
to
right.
plagiarize. I changed centuries. See,
Okay, gotcha.
I knew what I was doing.
Okay, cool. Well, let's get into this first song. We'll stop being jackasses here. No. Okay, never mind. All right, so a band from Wearside, England.
Where?
Mm-hmm. The side.
That side.
Yeah, the side.
Left, right, where?
No, the Wearside, England, which is northeastern. I actually did, as I was looking up these bands, I'm like, where is this in England?
And
so I did geography.
The Wolves there are...
werewolves.
Of London.
No, northeastern UK.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Close.
They migrated.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a band formed in
Pollution.
1980, and their sound, according to them, is similar to Motorhead, Raven, and Tank, all bands we've played on the program before. They released their debut in 1983, right in the sweet spot, and one of their first shows, they played the Leeds Festival with Saxon, Anvil, Girl School, and Twisted Sister in 1983.
God, what a lineup.
That had to be amazing.
Yeah.
Then they went on tour in the UK with Saxon. Again, Saxon's at the peak of their powers right then, so that had to be amazing. They recorded a second album in 1984. However, this is the story with almost all of these bands that didn't make it that are NWOBM bands. They started to mix in keyboards, and a lot of times I'll say they mixed in keyboards and tried to go mainstream or poppier, and that's what kills them. No, they went heavier, but the keyboards didn't mix with the heaviness, and so it didn't sell with crap. And so that kind of did it for them. They demoed an entire album's worth of material after they got dropped from the label after the second album, and nobody would pick them up.
Oh, wow.
And so that album has never come out.
Hello.
And yeah, so that is the story of this band, Battle Axe.
Oh, nice.
Familiar?
Very familiar.
All right.
It's a shame because it's a good name.
It is. It is a great name, and I think this is a great tune. So this is from their first album, Burn This Town, 1983. We're going to hear a little Ready to Deliver.
Supernova, beyond imagination, the ultimate death machine for total
might be sacrilege, but I got to draw the line straight from them at the end of their run to the beginning of a very young Motley Crue. And to see the transition, early Motley Crue into with Vince Neil and then into a hair band, but the beginning started off like you changed the singer in that song to Vince, and it would have been a Motley Crue song. The
it did sound like a Mick Mars riff a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see when they started, they sounded more like this. They evolved differently, but these other bands that they were coming to an end, who knows if they'd stuck around, if they would have evolved into that hair band direction, or if they would have stayed more of the metal side of things. So we'll never know. But
I think a lot of these bands got caught up in the Def Leppard effect of, they became mega stars by just shifting their sound a little bit. Yeah, we should do that.
Slowing it down a little bit to
a little more pop,
sing-song choruses, more harmonies, 500 harmonies, backtracks. What else can we throw in there?
Single hits on the drums before you. Yeah.
So I heard some Def Leppard riffs in there. Some early Def Leppard.
That's true. Yeah,
that was definitely
through the night.
Yep, that was Def Leppard era. And the drumming to me was a little bit like Motorhead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I almost at the end, I almost wanted them to come back with
yeah, because it started like Overkill.
One more
right?
exactly. One more round over that.
Yeah, I mean, basically 2 albums and done. But again, you change up on your second album. You change up what you're doing. Not a good idea, especially then.
No, you got to wait till you're fat and happy and got plenty of money, then start monkeying with the formula.
They should have waited till the late 80s. That's when everybody changed their sound and got really poppy, but they went a little too soon. But great band, and even the riff I was hearing, like I know Lars was into that, so I know it even had that Kill 'Em All kind of riffing as well. So very Metallica also. All right, let's move into the next one. So on our first NWOBM episode, we featured a band with an odd name called Ethel the Frog. On our second episode, we had a band called Baby Tucku. Now this time, here's our next one. They named this band after their dog. Tyson Dog, one word. Tyson Dog.
Tyson Dog, the Japanese?
Sounds like a Japanese band.
Tyson Dog.
Yeah, Tyson Dog. Yes, they actually named their band after their dog.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the smartest move.
But have you heard of this band? I mean, you hear of their name.
I don't know. I've heard of name a band after my dog. I think that'd be a great band name.
Dio. James D.O.G.
Yeah.
Has Dio been done?
I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
What were you saying your band?
My band?
No. What were you saying? I interrupted you. Sorry.
No, I don't remember now.
I do that.
Oh,
he does that.
You guys are the same.
Yeah. Oh, look. Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. I think you were just saying you've heard of Tyson Dog, but you've never heard them.
Yes, I have heard of them, and I may have listened to them, but don't remember.
All right. Well, I'll spread a little knowledge. Here we go. Formed in Tyneside near Newcastle, England, 1982. So that, again, northeastern side, close to Scotland. And people there are called what Brian Johnson's first band was before AC/DC. Remember?
Oh, God. I just saw this last week. Oh, my God.
He was in this band, and then he went to AC/DC, but he was in this band. They were called something. That's what they call people from this area.
It was a pop, groovy pop band.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, it wasn't pop. I mean, it was still rock, but it was poppier.
Nothing like AC/DC.
No, nothing.
No, I just saw it.
Geordies.
Geordie, God.
Yeah. So they call people from this area Geordies. So this Tyson Dog were Geordies.
That's where it comes from. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Geordie. I knew that.
Now the lead singer in this band, God, I love his name, Clutch Carruthers.
What?
That's a lead singer name right there.
That's a porn name if I've ever heard one. Clutch Carruthers. That's a Simpsons character. I got to take my car to the mechanic. Homer, take it to Clutch.
Clutch was really good.
What was his name?
Yeah, so Clutch had a very powerful voice, and that's what helped get them signed to Neat Records, which Neat was a label that signed a lot of these bands back in the day in the UK. And they signed this band, Tyson Dog. However, before their second album came out, Clutch got ill, and he was forced to take a leave of absence, and that delayed the album for a year or two. So it finally gets released in 1986. Unfortunately, by 1986, the tide was changing, and so Tyson Dog didn't have a chance because they were still doing
82 stuff.
83 stuff. Yep. So the other thing that killed them was the record label, Neat, decided not to release any material from the second album as a single. Instead, they said, hey, why don't you guys do a cover? Because that goes really well. Sells a lot of records that way. They had them do a cover of School's Out. It is god-awful. It is horrible.
Alice Cooper?
Alice Cooper. And if I remember, didn't somebody at that same time do Schools Out? Was it Crocus?
Crocus, yes.
Yeah.
Which was not a very good cover.
Not very good either. No. Yeah. Don't do Alice Cooper, kids.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Don't do Alice Cooper.
Yeah, so bad idea, and that sort of ended things for them because they were kind of a power metal band, and so them doing a cover of Schools Out and with a second album that didn't sound very of the time in 86, that killed it. So they disbanded in 87, but we still have this from their first album, Beware of the Dog. This is The Inquisitor.
Doing this podcast is a lot of fun, but it gets emotionally, it's toiling emotionally. because I take on the feeling of what it must like to be that band, like having a great recording, but then things happen and you can't release it. And then when you do, it's like, everybody's moved on. And how many hundreds of times have we talked about that kind of scenario where nothing wrong with the band, it's just timing, bad luck, something stupid happens. The band that was on the plane to come over and it was 9/11 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so all those stories build up, and I lay awake at night and I shed a tear and I, can't sleep because I'm thinking about these bands.
Poor bands.
Poor bands. But at the same time, they left us with some damn good music. There was nothing wrong with that song except for the year that it was released.
Well, this was off their first album.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying this was one of the 1986
This
ones.
came out in 84. I mean, even then, they
it was
were a
on
little
the outer
late.
edge.
Yeah.
But still, it's a good song. And it sucks that we have to talk about them in the past tense like this, that they're not around to have evolved into something else.
Well, and if these bands, if they could stick it out, let's just say we damned it, we don't care, we're gonna do our own thing, we're gonna release our own albums, like take Anvil for example, and just keep going. Eventually it comes around again.
You get a cult following, and then all of a sudden, it's more than a cult following, and it becomes kitschy, and then it's fun again.
Or there's some other bands that we'll talk about who came back because Metallica played their song.
Yeah, or wore the shirt, as we talked about.
What
was
shirt?
that? Diamond
Head.
Diamond Head, yeah, they got famous again.
Yeah, I mean, Metallica was the reason that people knew about Diamond Head.
Yep.
I'm one of those.
And they were done at that point. And
they
then
were
came
over.
Back.
Yeah. And this band that you just played, that guitar tone was amazing. Amazing guitar tone.
So I got a lot of Judas Priest out of what we just heard. I mean, the singer definitely was a Rob Halford fan, Mr. Clutch Carruthers.
Whatever happened to Clutch?
I don't know. Hopefully he's still with us. I'm not sure. I'm sure if I look up Clutch Carruthers, we probably won't find him. I'm having feeling I just have a feeling that's not his real name, but maybe his mama did name
Steve
him Clutch.
Thomas. I told you.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of this band. I only have this one song because I got it on a compilation, but if I could ever find a vinyl copy of Beware of the Dog, I'm going to pick it up because I think it's badass. And I will say the guitar lead, the very first part of it was very simple, and I was like, oh no, he's going Nigel Tufnell on us. I'm like, he's just going to go, and then he just started ripping it, and it's like, oh, there's KK Downing.
Yeah. There was a little Grim Reaper lead in that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Grim
Reaper.
Damn, he's pulling up
Grim Reaper.
Deep ones.
The world's ugliest lead singer.
Even with the wig, he was still ugly.
God, he was ugly. Well, you did. Just pull up an image of Grim Reaper singer.
I don't want that in my head.
Yeah. Woo.
He recently passed away.
Did he? Well,
are you sure?
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
I think he's been dead for about 15 years. They were propping him up on stage.
He's not talking about his career. He's talking about...
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Oh, that was horrible.
Damn,
God,
soon.
he just passed.
Too soon,
What
man.
an asshole.
Well, when you have a band called Grim Reaper, how long can you last?
Right, just fulfilling the prophecy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on. We have been in northeastern England. Let's go to southeastern England to Kent. And this band formed in 1980, and they achieved cult status by being listed as a band to watch out in the Armed and Ready section on the very second issue of Kerrang magazine. Did you ever have Kerrang as a kid? Did you get imports of that?
No, we were Hit Parader, Circus. Those were the publications that we...
Yeah, I couldn't pay big money for imported English metal mags at that point in time, so I saw them, but I didn't pay for them. They're like $10, man.
Yeah, that was a lot.
That was big money back then.
We were just basically Newsweek and National Geographic at my house. I think that was all we had.
Your dad didn't have Kerrang come to the
No,
house.
there was nothing in the mail that would embarrass him like that.
So very famous metal mag from the UK. If we got it here, like I said, it was a big deal. But they had a section called Armed and Ready, and they featured this band, Demon Pact. And if you were in that section, people were going to go find you, because it meant something. But the reason they were in there is because they were sort of similar to Venom, who are the inventors of the term black metal. So they had a lot of lyrical content that was about demons and devils and zombies, the typical stuff that most people like to sing about. So kind of gross graphical lyrics. So that's really what got them the notice in the early days. But they're an interesting band. Only one single released, and then another song was in a compilation. It was a compilation of musicians from Kent, the area they're from. But they had some misfortunes with the label they were on, which was called White Witch. They should have known.
Right there.
Yep.
It's right there.
Mm-hmm.
the witch. May we burn her?
How do you know she is a witch?
She looks like one. Yeah, she looks like one.
Bring her forward.
I'm not a witch. I'm not a witch.
But you are dressed as one.
They dressed me up like this.
And
this isn't my nose. It's a false one.
Well,
Well, we did do the nose.
the nose?
And the hat. But she's a witch.
Did you dress her up like this?
No.
No.
Yes. Yeah, a bit. She has got a wart.
What makes you think she's a witch?
Well, she turned me into a newt.
A newt?
We got better. Burn her anyway!
Apparently, they recorded a full album before their demise in '82, but nothing's ever been released. Here's another one of those.
Magic.
Second one tonight.
Sitting on the shelf.
Sitting on the shelf somewhere, but they didn't even have a label, so it's sitting on somebody's attic shelf.
Box.
Yes, so we're going to listen to one of the only songs by Demon Pact, and of course, they have a song called Eaten Alive.
That's one of the songs that there's no way in hell I would have liked it growing up. But now, for some reason, my brain has evolved in the sense that the weirder, the grittier, the nastier.
It's just the nastiest guitar tone ever.
All of a sudden, it's like, oh, what is this? And I think that's why I didn't get into Motorhead until later on, other than Ace of Spades. It clicked later on in life. It was just, there was something about the rewiring of my brain about 15 years ago.
But you dug it?
Yeah, I did. Actually, in a weird way. I'm like, okay, I really like that.
I thought the bass was nasty.
Yeah.
Everything.
That was like Dee Verney overkill bass going on.
Yep, totally. There was, in the book that I read, the encyclopedia, it mentioned that apparently they lost some fans because of the recording of people didn't think
the quality of the recording?
The quality didn't sound like the band sounded live or something like that. But I'm like, it was a cheap recording. What you didn't have money to throw at this thing. I mean, it was on the White Witch label. What are you going to do?
The rawness of it. I mean, you would think that they would love that.
Yeah.
They're a black metal band. They should be raw and intense.
Yeah.
And
True.
I agree. And did it remind you of Venom? Are you a Venom fan?
It did not remind me of Venom. I'm not a Venom fan. I have Welcome to Hell and, some of the famous ones, but I like this band better.
Yeah, I'm not a big... I like them okay, but I'm not a big Venom fan, but yeah, I would like this better too. If I heard a full album, this would be fine with me. I dug it. And the drums sounded cool. I thought this drummer was very good. All right, now we're going to move to the northwest of England, to Cumbria. And this band formed in 1980. They only played a handful of live dates in total. Like, they just were not a live band. Their strategy was to record, to shop their demos on cassettes to radio labels, shops around them, and the tape trading circuit, which was very lucrative in those days because it was pre-internet, and that's how you got music. That's how Lars got all those tapes and shared them with all the rest of the guys in Metallica and then with the world. But that was their strategy. They didn't want to focus on playing live. They just wanted to keep recording, and then they would go around and try to sell these tapes. And they sold a lot of these, and they got on a bunch of compilations, eventually got signed to Neat Records for some singles, and then they switched labels to try to get a little more exposure, and they ended up doing some radio performances, but really didn't play live, which is bizarre because most of these bands, it was all about playing in the pubs, playing wherever they could to get heard, but they had a different strategy here. And the album came out, but it didn't do great in the UK. It sort of tanked, but it did really well in the Netherlands, which bizarre, but okay, sure. Why not? They smoke a lot of dope there, I heard.
I've heard. I've never experienced that myself.
So this band is called Bitches Sin.
Oh,
familiar with this?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yes, they do.
What's wrong with you?
Damn straight they do.
Thank the Lord they do.
Yeah, so Bitches Sin. They the first album kind of didn't meet the expectations of their early singles, so then they come back really strong with another EP in 83, but because of the lack of sales on the first album, nobody would pick them up after that to release another full album, so they ended up kind of squeaking 2 more albums out on their own in 86 and 88, but they were largely re-recordings of older material, and again, by that time, 86, 88,
yeah,
that's just not what was happening, so they didn't make it, but Bitches Sin are a pretty big band on the scene of new wave of British heavy metal, but their story's unlike any other band because they didn't really play live.
Now, the NWOBM goes hand in hand with the bizarre trend of the air guitar phase.
That's right. That's what a lot of the early days they would play, and that's why they focused on their cassettes. So they would get these cassettes to shops, and then the shop owners would get them to the clubs in whatever town they were in, and people would come and they would do air guitar while they were listening.
But they would actually build mock-up guitars.
Yeah, they would go and they'd have these
them.
contests.
They sure would.
That's just weird.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah, and they were just listening to tapes and records.
So I wonder if they did that in the Netherlands, because why were they so popular there?
I don't know. The handful of shows that they did play in Holland. So I don't know.
They knew somebody over there.
Yeah.
They saw bitches sin. They're like, red light district.
That's like us playing in Mattoon, Illinois. Like, how the hell did you end up there? Well, we knew somebody that knew somebody.
Right. You know who we knew? Blackberry Smoke's drummer.
Yes, we did. And their keyboard player. But because of the drummer, though, really. In Illinois.
That's called a name drop.
Name drop. Bam.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Honest to God, it boils my piss.
What was his name?
I don't remember his name, but it's
Steve
not important.
Thomas or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Thomas is your name
Let's go
today.
to tonight.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, cool.
It was a bland name.
I think it was Steve Tomas.
Tomas. That was the French guy. We're talking about the Illinois guy.
The Italian French guy.
Yeah.
Where were we going with this?
I have no idea.
Okay, cool. We're just going to move on then.
Let's do it. Please. Have mercy on me.
All right. Tony, our next band are from London.
Go figure.
Why
Wow,
about that?
that's a stretch,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
First band we've talked about from London, so,
Hey, my joke hit long ago.
Hit it, leave, walk out early.
All right, so this band decided to create their own label, do their own recording on their own dime, and distribute the first single, kind of DIY style, very punk rock for the day in 1980. And the first single, though, they put out on their own is one of those collectible singles out there in the world that goes for over 3 figures just for a single from this obscure band called Metal Mirror. You ever heard of Metal Mirror?
Nope, I have not.
So the singer in this band, his name is Cameron Vegas.
Once again.
Yeah, but that's his real name, right? So Cameron Vegas presented himself as the metal version of T-Rex's Mark Bolan. So they were mixing in a little bit of that old school glam with their new wave of British heavy metal thing. Metal Mirror. Okay. All right. Maybe. No, they didn't make it very far. But they recorded one additional song after the single that they got out, and it made its way onto an 81 compilation, Heavy Metal Heroes. But that was it, because Cameron Vegas could not be contained in a band. He needed to go solo.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know how that career went. Yeah.
Went over like a Led Zeppelin.
Apparently he had some singles out in the 90s, but that was kind of it.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
90s.
Wow. But they gave us their music in 1980, so they weren't around that long, but I think it's a really cool song. And of course I'm going to play this one, which is the B-side to the single. This is Living on English Booze.
Living
Got a nice little bonus song at the end of the regular song.
Yeah, I think they just decided to mix two things together, or the guitarist was like, "Hey, I got another idea. Just go with me.
Just let it roll. Keep it rolling. we can't afford to pay for two songs. So we're going to tell them it's one song. We'll split it up later."
Yeah, 5 minutes and 46 seconds.
I thought that was Foghat at the beginning. Like that was a Foghat riff. Like.
Well, I thought it was interesting because that came out in 1980, so it's pretty heavy for 1980 and for a band doing it all on their own. They had some chugga in there, but they definitely had some of that 70s
that
kind of boogie.
Like 60s, like late 60s Hendrix vibe, where it was just raw.
Which all of that fed into that boogie.
But the drum riff
stuff.
and the guitar riff that kept coming back around again and again and again.
Yeah.
It was muddy. It didn't seem to match for some reason. I don't know. I'm not exactly the pinnacle of keeping time, as you well know, from trying to keep up with me.
I think Cameron Vegas should have spent a little more time on the lyrics, maybe, because the chorus was a little weak.
Yeah.
Living.
In English booze. I mean, I know what Irish booze is. Believe me, I know Irish booze, but what is English booze? Just bad beer?
It's the power of English 800 port. It's that smooth mellow taste that gets you. Smooth mellow taste that gets you. It's the power, stronger but smooth. It's the power of English 800 port.
I don't know. I'm sure there's lots of English booze.
Bass ale.
Ass bail.
Yeah, so they didn't make it, but
sad to say.
Still kind of fun.
But it was kitschy in a way. It was a little quirky. Once again,
kind of late 70s.
I'm more open to that now. Yeah, I'm more
bit.
open to that now than I would have been 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Yeah. But that's when a good producer says, "Hey, we need to scale this back just a little bit."
Right.
Yeah.
You're here, and I need you here.
There was no producer here.
Yeah, you could tell.
These guys were doing it themselves. Now, we've mentioned a couple of times that they had a single out, which was a big thing to play in these clubs. That we're talking about where they'd have these air guitar sessions. But also I've mentioned a lot that they were on a compilation. So for the kids out there, back in the day, we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have the internet. And so if you wanted to hear a new band, you either did the tape trading thing, you got it from a buddy, or you got it on a cassette, or you would go buy these compilation albums and they would have, call it 15 to 20 songs on it by different bands. And that may be the first time that you discover a new band you've never heard of. And so it was a really big deal.
And most of them were put out by record companies when you say.
Right. Yeah, they're compilations put out by either a small label or even a large label. Do you remember, Robert?
I was going to say,
Big Jack Pneumatic.
We were famous enough to be on a compilation.
We were on a compilation. They were still doing this.
Yeah, when was that? 2002?
2 or 3. Yeah.
Back in the old days.
Yeah, back in the days.
22 years ago.
So we were on a compilation called the Buzz Lighter series, which was Shut Eye Records here in Atlanta. And I don't know how they put the groups together that were on these particular compilations, but they would send these out to college radio stations is what they would do with these things. And hopefully that you would get some spins on it. But the particular one that we were on not only featured Big Jack Pneumatic, but for some really odd reason, Midnight Oil were on the same compilation.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I mean, that's good company to keep, right?
It is.
But it was
really weird.
We were very opposite of them.
All these unknown acts, and then there's a Midnight Oil song from a new album that obviously by that point in time, Midnight Oil had kind of passed their peak, but still people knew Midnight Oil. But I kind of love it that we're on a compilation with Midnight Oil, but at the same time, it was really weird.
Those are weird days. It was the in-between times again. We were in between the alt-grunge period and the new rock or new metal period.
I don't know what we were. We were power pop.
No, I'm saying we were between those, so we don't know what the hell we were.
Right.
We were just us.
We were just prior to the popular emo, the stuff that wasn't not like true emo, but the stuff that came a little poppy.
Indie emo stuff. Yeah, we would have
we would have killed in that scene.
4 or 5 years later, again, we talk about bands that just couldn't quite do the timing
right.
We
were just like us. Metal Mirror.
We were
just a little ahead of
our times.
Very similar bands, Metal Mirror and Big Jack Pneumatic.
Also very raw and unpolished.
Yes.
That's a nice way to put it.
Our mirror was a little fuzzy as well.
It needed to be clean.
Yeah. All right.
Little dust particles on it.
Well, let's talk about another band from Kent. We've talked about a band from Kent already. Let's talk about this one that apparently kind of popped up out of nowhere on a label called Ebony Records. They weren't a band that were playing out live. They weren't in the scene, but for some reason they were put on this label and they released an album, One and Done, in 1985. 85, that was kind of the end.
What were you doing in 85, Tony?
Trying not to listen to Bon Jovi. I tried to make it through high school.
That was impossible. It was everywhere.
They were everywhere, yes.
What were you doing in 85, Robert?
Riding to school with a majorette.
Oh, that was then.
That was that 1985. It was the year before I got the Camaro, so I still didn't have a car yet.
Oh.
And Deanna Robbins, the really hot majorette, who was a senior and I was a lowly sophomore, asked if, hey, I'm passing by your house. Why don't we just carpool? I'm like, cool. And I thought it was just her and I. And then immediately went across the highway and picked up my friend Craig.
He got away.
So it's the two of us. I was like, oh, damn it. It's a friend thing.
So the two of you were thinking, menage a trois.
No, we weren't. I can guarantee you neither one of us at 15 years old was that creative to think about that. It was just like, I thought it was just her and I, and now it was like...
That's where my head would have gone at that point. I've been like, I saw this on Skinemax.
No, her and her friend, yes, but not us two, no. You don't think about it like that. So anyway, that was like, yay! Story of my life.
In 85, I was riding to middle school with my sister, and I remember she ran over my foot one time.
On purpose?
On purpose. I was getting out of the car, and she said I was getting out too slow because I was apparently a shithead. And she just started to pull off, and my foot was down in between the curb and her tire, and she was on top of my foot, and I'm screaming at her.
She's just like, what? What's
she's
the
like,
problem?
What? I'm like... you're on my foot. Move. It's like, well, move it. I'm like, but you're on it.
It's a car.
She had to back up so that I get my foot out. And I have no idea how, but I had no damage or anything. Nothing was wrong with my foot. A car was on top of it. It didn't even hurt that much.
Sisters are mean like that. You and I both had older sisters that were smarter and meaner.
Yeah, she was mean then. And then she got all nice when she went to college. I don't know what happened.
What the hell did you just say?
Wait a minute.
Well, she felt bad. She ran over.
Maybe.
I guess so.
Maybe.
Mine never did that. She's still 5 years older and 5 years meaner.
Yeah, she got really nice when
she listens
left.
to the podcast. That's why I'm saying that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
She does?
She does.
Oh.
Oh, I know.
I'm sorry, Robert's sister.
I heard about it at Easter. Going to visit the family.
You didn't tell that story.
Yeah.
They listen to the podcast?
My sister does. And then she's telling on my mom. Or telling on me to my mom.
Oh, I see.
Robert said this. Robert's talking about his balls.
Good, baby. Very good.
Well, speaking of your balls, Robert.
Yes. Let's talk about my balls.
I see have you put your balls on the table?
Yes, they're laying right there.
Look at that. You only have one?
One. Sorry, there's a second one.
Nice. Sling the sack up there.
So I was going to wait, but we're going to whip my balls out now.
Okay. Why not?
Because we got an initiation. So anybody that comes on the podcast in person, I try to talk them into putting my balls in their mouth.
Oh. So, wow, the pressure's on.
What do I have to do?
Are they moist?
To get you?
They are moist.
Moist. They're fresh. Would you like to put a ball?
I think I'm going to.
Uncle Robert's flaming nut balls.
Yep, I'm grabbing one of your balls, Robert.
And you can put it in your hand, warm it up, or you can just put it right in your mouth.
Fondle.
And
just
honest
fondle
opinion. It's always honest opinion. Because I got to make these 100%. They're at about 94%.
Well,
right
hold on before you say anything, because it takes a minute to eat. So
yeah, they're dense. Uncle Robert's festive nut balls engorged with flavor. He's still
enough of that.
He's still trying to choke it down.
He can't even.
This is the best thing. They get bigger when you put them in the mouth.
Oh, they swell.
They swell.
Your balls are swollen.
Yeah, the more you have it in your mouth, the bigger my balls get.
So this was the topic of discussion at Easter. All right.
Yeah,
what,
my sister
what did what'd she say about your balls?
In front of my mother's like, he was talking about his balls. Like, shut up. You have to put this in context. My 85 or 84-year-old mother was just like, what?
Your poor mom. She's like, I know. He always talks about his balls.
Growing up, I'd hit him with a ruler when he did that. Smack.
That was good.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
They're
I would
protein.
recommend not taking the entire ball into your mouth at once. Yes.
As much as that hurts me to hear.
Nibble.
Yeah, as much as that hurts me to nibble on my balls. It's not the first time, but they are tender. But I'll be okay with that.
I had one last week. I'm good.
Oh yeah, still good. All that protein.
I'm actually stuffed, so I'm not going to go there.
Yeah,
I'm not going to put your balls in my mouth
not tonight.
This week.
I'll save some. I'll make some more balls for you.
All right, good.
Fresh.
Okay, well, we should probably continue on here because we have to talk about this band. So they're on this label. They put an album out in 1985, and apparently they had a really bad album design. The artwork was apparently not great.
And you are a fan of good album design, I know.
But I've never seen it because they had this really horrendous looking album art, and it got destroyed in a fire on the way to the printer.
What?
And so they had to come up with this other sleeve design, which apparently was better anyway.
Oh, okay.
But this is the
That's
story.
horrible.
This band has so little of a backstory that this is what they were talking
Spinal Tap
about.
moment. How come that was not included in Spinal Tap? That would have been awesome.
But it caused the album to be delayed because the album art got burned.
It just
they should just made it black.
Combusted.
Why didn't they just make it black?
Yeah, exactly.
It's charred.
Charred than charred.
So apparently that caused the album to be delayed, and then it comes out in 85. It should have come out in 84, and they got so frustrated with the lack of this album coming out that the band disbanded in the summer of 85.
Because it burned.
All because their album art burned.
But the fact that they don't tell you how it got burned. I mean, this like somebody was playing around with a lighter and accidentally got too close, or did it fall into a campfire?
I don't know. But is that a reason to stop having your band?
There were other things going on. I think
this is the story.
That was the story. There was probably some other things.
Yeah, so apparently they disbanded, and then everybody in the band just disappeared into obscurity as quickly as they emerged. So nobody really knows where they came from. Apparently they were like friends with the label, one of the label producers, and they got, I don't know, they just put this band together, made an album, got mad when the art got burned, and never did anything else.
And see, earlier I was giving...
Until...
I was going to say... Go ahead.
Until 2019, they put out a new album.
Oh, man.
Out of nowhere.
Right before COVID knocked him out again.
Yeah, 2019. Like, what? it's just an odd story. There's hardly anything else. They have a Facebook page, they have a website, but there's really no information.
Well, there's more info on them than there is Clutch Carruthers.
Clutch Carruthers.
If you Google that, you get 15 links on how to repair clutch chatter in your muscle car. That's the thing.
Did you do Clutch Carruthers musician?
Nah, it was on my phone. I couldn't read it.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah,
and
you couldn't read it anyway.
I'm in the middle of a podcast. You know,
okay,
I try to pay attention. You know me. I'm always on point here.
You
always
are.
paying attention.
You are.
All right, what were we talking about?
No, we're talking about this band. So their name, we'll see if Tony has heard of this band. Their name is Black Maine.
Black Maine?
Maine. Mayne. All one word. Black Maine. So on the cover, they have this black horse. I don't know what the original cover was. It burned. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I have not heard of them. No.
Well, pretty cool band, but, one and done. So we're going to hear the first song off of this album. It's called Twilight of Lear. Sounds very proggy. I don't think it's proggy,
some Rush bands, kind of. That had everything going for it. That was a pretty polished recording. Had all the right notes as far as being able to hit the operatic stuff, the end of it. I don't know. It should have been huge.
It's not bad.
Should have been bigger than it was.
Yeah, that singer was very talented.
The whole band is good. I don't know why this is so obscure, but they got pissed off that the artwork wasn't right.
Well, I was going to say we never had that problem. I was showing Tony upstairs our collection of posters, our concert posters that you did, and we always looked.
Yeah, you couldn't fire the artist. And
exactly.
He couldn't be late with anything.
Well, I tried, but you didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we looked like a national touring band with our merch and our posters and
shirts.
Shirts that were. And I showed them the women's shirts that were always in the small category.
Yeah, well, that was a thing then.
Thank you for that, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. We still have photo documentation of that.
So I don't know why this didn't work out. I mean, it was 1985 when this came out, so maybe was the problem.
Maybe it was just a little late.
I don't know, but there was still plenty of this stuff going on.
It sounded good.
But I agree. I think it sounds really good. It's definitely not a state-of-the-art recording, but it's not bad.
No, it was fine.
And the guitar lead was impressive.
It was, but I felt like the guitar lead was mixed wrong. Like it was a little too up front, and it drowned out the rest of the band.
Yeah, that's
the way it's supposed to be.
As a guitarist.
As a guitar
in
player.
Robert's world.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the vocals and the guitar should be the loudest.
Should be all the way up, and everybody else should be down.
Robert, Harrison, and Vinnie Vincent.
Yeah, I like him. That's why.
Yeah. Her. Well, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. They, Kevin,
them,
and those.
Okay. I don't understand this world we live in.
I know,
but I can't get it right.
I'm going to drag you into it.
Okay,
man.
thank you. I need help.
You are a sexist pig.
All right. So we have one more song. So far, audit's going well. We're doing okay. We're meeting the standards that
our quota for the quarter.
Yes, no complaints on the corporate end.
Okay, awesome. Appreciate that. Okay, so Robert.
Yes, Kevin.
Your dog.
Yes. Did he pee?
What? No.
Oh, I thought
his name happens to be Dio.
Oh, yes, he does.
Did you ever wonder where Vivian Campbell, the first guitarist for Dio, where he came from? Now he's also in Def Leppard, but we know him from Dio.
Like Massachusetts.
What the hell you say?
No, that would not be correct.
Oh.
No. He came from Northern Ireland.
Oh.
Belfast.
Oh, okay.
But he was in a band, a NWOBM band, the Northern Ireland Darlings, known as Sweet Savage. Before
Never
Dio.
knew that.
Yep. They formed in 1979.
He's over there. He's sitting
Did Dio
next to,
know? Of course Dio knew.
Look, he's such a good host. He's over there sitting right by our guest.
I know.
Yeah.
He's a good dog.
He didn't come to me until I had one of your balls.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he knows. Once you have your balls
smells
in
his
my
master's
hand,
balls.
like, time to get excited.
You familiar with Sweet Savage?
I am familiar, yes.
Okay.
Check out the big brain on
Griggs.
You're a smart motherfucker. That's right.
Now, they're considered one of the pioneers of NWOBM, of the movement. They supported Thin Lizzy on the Renegade Tour. They supported Ozzy Osbourne, Wishbone Ash, Budgie, Motorhead, all prior to doing any recording. They were that good that these bands wanted them to open for them. They didn't even have a record out.
Nice.
And Vivian Campbell was the lead guitarist. They with Vivian, released 2 singles. They could never get the deal. But they're one of the most famous bands and known for being one of the pioneers. But
was he too dominant and kind of overshadowed the singer or something?
Well, we're going to hear it. They did do a radio show, and they got like 6 songs recorded there, which is kind of all we have of Vivian Campbell with this band. They disbanded in 1983. In 1983, he goes and joins Dio.
So his life turned out okay.
Yeah, he did fine, but
he did well for himself.
It's just weird that this band, they're so highly regarded, and even were then, but they couldn't get an album deal when all this stuff was blowing up.
Well, that's kind of similar to Twisted Sister.
Well, you're right. They slugged it out for a long time.
Years before.
Yeah, they were an overnight success after, 10 years?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's the same thing here. And this band tried to reform again after Vivian left, and that didn't last very long. And then they did reform again in the 90s because Metallica... Here they go again. They covered the song Killing Time as the B-side to the Unforgiven single. So in the 90s, they got a little more notoriety again, and so they regrouped in the 90s, and they put out 3 albums in 96, 98, and again in 2011, but Vivian's not part of those.
He never came back as a charity case or something? Just to
because
feel sorry for him?
He had 20 other bands he was in.
Oh, okay. He wasn't bored.
But mostly he was in Def Leppard, and he was making Def Leppard money, so he had no reason.
That's good money right there.
Yeah. is.
But like I said, they did record a BBC radio show called The Friday Rock Show, and you can find it on YouTube. It's, to my knowledge, it hasn't really been released as a proper album, but I thought we should hear the actual version of Killing Time that they originally did. This is the version that Metallica heard and covered. The one that you can find, if you're going online to Spotify or something like that, you can only find the re-recorded version of this that came out in the 90s. But this is the original one, and this is off of that radio broadcast with Vivian Campbell. This is from 1981. This is Killing Time from Sweet Savage.
That was another graduate of the Paul Diano School of Rock Singing. Let me just kind of talk my way through it a little bit.
Yeah, but it's perfect for James Hetfield's voice.
Yeah, now to re-record that, he doesn't have to try really hard.
No, it almost sounds like that.
Yeah, but the recording and with Vivian on the guitar, obviously I could see where it'd be unique enough and obscure enough where people like to say, "Oh, I like this. This is my influence or my favorite band," because it's obscure. People like to say that and think they're really cool. So it may or may not be that good. It's just that it was unique.
You could tell though, the guitar is like it's beyond a lot of these other songs that we've heard.
We
It's
know
a different
who it is
level.
now. Yeah, if you didn't know who that was, you'd be blown away with it.
So you know what's crazy about Vivian Campbell is he always had like an inferiority complex. Like during the recording of Hearing Aid, he felt like he wasn't in the same level, which is insane because that guy was like top notch. Like obviously, guys like Lynch and Malmsteen were there, but Campbell could hold his own with a lot of players of the era.
Oh, he's great. I think you're right. He's always thought he's not in the same level as or the same league as those other guys, and he is. I mean, those early Dio albums are just impressive. Go back and listen to. Have you heard the re-recording of Holy Diver? Well, not the re-recording, but the remix.
Yeah,
really good, and you can really hear those guitar parts better. They took some of that echo off, and
which is surprising that they would do that. You would think they would suppress him because of the bad blood.
So good,
but he was an amazing player. I mean, he's one of my top 3 players in the 80s. Lynch, Campbell, and Jakey Lee. I love them.
Wait, go back to Dio. You said there's Bad Blood. I've never heard of. I don't know stories behind the music when it comes to Dio. I know who he is, but who's the Bad Blood between?
It's between Dio and Campbell.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It has to do with, I think, songwriting credit and pay, right?
Yep.
Oh, it was more like
absolutely.
after the fact. Then it wasn't like while they were working.
Well, it's the reason he left.
Well, it's the reason he
Oh,
left.
so there was during
Yeah.
some stress between them.
And I think it was Wendy Dio as well.
Yep.
Because she was managing them.
She also managed Rough Cut.
He got it in.
I got it in.
Oh, I just put a big buzzer in there for you.
It was a rough cut with an R. R. That's a good pirate man. R.
Hey, we got a rough cut song in for you one time.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
He noticed they were on the banner. He pointed that out pretty quick.
Right.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I mean, Sweet Savage, the guitar is elevated. I wouldn't say the songwriting was elevated, but it's a cool song. I mean, my God, Metallica covered it, so, you know.
It is now.
It is now.
Yeah.
Cool. According to the Metallica fans out there. It's so interesting to me. Metallica could just do anything, and it's going to, if they, like you said, wear the shirt, just mention the band or cover the song, all of a sudden it elevates their whole catalog to like a different status than they were before.
If he likes their Facebook page or something like that, all of a sudden.
Well, he's got his battle vest. If you ever notice the battle vest that James wears on stage, he's got all new wave of British heavy metal bands on it. And of course, all of those bands, I'm sure, experience some sort of spike in their downloads.
Yeah, because even if it's like in the armpit,
plays.
Somebody's going to see that and go,
exactly.
well, actually, if you can tell in the concert in Seattle 1992, when James raises his hand, you can see the patch right there clearly.
But I'll say that's what, other than knowing of Iron Maiden and Priest and, you know, that they were in Def Leppard and Saxon, that they were part of that movement. Metallica did early on get me into some of these other bands. I wouldn't have known about Diamond Head if not for them.
Blitzkrieg.
Yeah. So it worked, and I love this music, and this is the basis for everything else that Tony sends to us when we have the Tony Awards.
So now you know. We've got a little background, little backstory to it.
Yeah.
We named face to the name.
Yeah.
And this is the music that influences the new wave of traditional heavy metal.
Absolutely. I mean, and some of it is carbon copy music, but they are playing what we all grew up liking,
right?
And what they grew up liking, and it's nice to see it come full circle and get some attention.
Yeah, and it sounds better because recording's better now.
Yeah.
It's easier to do good recordings.
Even
now.
if it's the same music, you get a better copy of it.
You get a better version of it.
Yeah.
The drum sounds, everything sounds.
Well, we're
better.
pushing 45 years later now.
Yeah.
And it's still a thing for even, the younger, air quotes, kids coming up.
Well, most of these bands, a lot of them are younger. They didn't experience this.
No.
They know about it because they loved Metallica more than likely, or they loved a band that was influenced by these groups.
I think Maiden was a huge.
Maiden's huge. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Maiden and Priest. All the bands that are still around, Motorhead until they were no more, but same thing. They all, were part of this movement, even if they didn't really say they were. I mean, Motorhead doesn't say they were a new wave of British heavy metal band, but they certainly were.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I still think of them as just their own.
They're their own thing in a way.
Little genre over here, but they are technically part of that.
They influenced every bit of this. So that's what I got for you today. Tony, did we pass the audit? Are we okay?
Let me check with.
Oh, good grief. Yes, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. You're good.
Are we good for? We're getting our bonuses this year.
Awesome! I can't wait.
It's been kind of stagnant the last couple of years.
I've not been coming through with the
bonuses. The check was in the mail, but my mail did not arrive.
I think it burned up.
That was with that artwork.
Exactly. Just spontaneously combusted. That happens around here, actually.
I said we're going to quit the podcast then.
Yeah. That's it. We're going on strike.
We're done.
Are we a non-union state?
Yeah, I think we are.
Right to work. I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Oh, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming all the way here.
We didn't talk about what else he did while he was here. Tell him real quick.
Tell us.
Yesterday, I went on...
When you come to Atlanta for vacation, this is what you need to do.
You have to go on the Walking Dead tour. It was, awesome. Like that. So I'm like, what am I going to do in Atlanta while my stepdaughter spends time with her family? And I'm like, I got to go to the Walking Dead tour. And it was amazing. But it's hilarious how one little tiny block of 3 houses can become an entire community. Like
the way they shoot
it. Yeah. Hollywood magics. It is really magic.
Oh, yeah.
But it was very cool, and I had a great time. Yeah.
So who else was? What was the clientele like in this?
Oh, in the tour, it was me and one family. Like,
well, this was
seriously, it was like 2 kids.
This was a
and the
Tuesday.
parents. It was a golf cart.
You went on a
tour.
Tuesday.
It was a golf cart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she drove us around on a golf cart, took us to several different places, Woodbury.
Was she like hiding, like, wait till the car goes by? Okay, now we can get, all right, let's go.
We're not supposed
she kept
to be
getting
here.
frustrated when people would drive by. She'd be like, don't you know I'm on a tour? Like,
what are you, just living in your neighborhood?
We're special here. We're the movie people.
So it was in a neighborhood?
Yep, it was in the neighborhood.
3 houses.
Sonoy.
Sonoy. Well, down here at Sonoya.
What the hell did you just say?
I thought it was Sonoy.
No,
is it
technically it's Sonoy,
okay.
but when you live in Georgia, you got to screw it up.
Oh,
so Sonoya,
just like paella, you have to say it differently.
Yeah, paella.
It was incredible.
The pictures look cool.
Yeah.
I am not a Walking Dead fan. I saw the first 4 or 5 episodes and it creeped me out, and I'm just not into the horror movie stuff. Kevin, on the other hand, has dragged me to the Living Dead movies, and I didn't like that. So
Brandon, it was me and Brandon and you.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm the one just going, what the hell?
Yeah, Brandon and I are really into horror
zombie
movies.
and movies. So did you watch The Walking Dead?
So here's the thing. No, I never watched it.
Oh, wow.
I never watched it. It didn't, for whatever reason, I tried like an episode or 2, and there was lack of zombies in those episodes that I watched. I'm like, I'm done. It's just, I get like a minute of a zombie. That's not going to work for me.
I just wanted to see how it started. That's my only interest, is the backstory. Once they get into it and it's just gore and fighting.
See, that's what I need.
That's what you need to step in there.
I need gore.
We need tag team. I go at the beginning.
Lack of story, more blood.
Okay. I'll go in. I'll hand it off to you. I'm like, okay, now it's boring. You watch it.
Well, at one point in time, that was the most talked about show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was huge.
Everybody loved that show.
Oh, around here, I had friends that would go on the weekend. You had to take a class on how to be a zombie. Then you could get hired as an extra. But you had to go to this class. You had to be a certified zombie. And they would give you this little certificate. And then you could show up when they had these cattle calls for zombie background characters. And they were, I've got several people that have pictures on their profiles. You can see
their
them
makeup
made up.
on.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So they also have a Avengers tour. So you could have done that.
What?
Yeah, there's an Avengers tour, and there's also a Stranger Things tour.
Oh, yeah, a lot of Stranger Things.
Yeah, I knew about that. I did not know about the Avengers tour.
And then there's a Trap House tour.
Oh.
What the hell you say?
Trap House?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know exactly what that is. I just saw that the other day.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Google that yourself.
Yeah.
You come to Smyrna and you tour Old Smyrna Firehouse, where not only has there been one movie, there's been 2 movies.
That's right.
And
you were in a set. Right now. You were in a location.
He said he was waiting to visit first. Now he's going to go watch the movie so we can have context of what it is.
Did you show him the spots where the scenes were?
Yeah, like this was a bad scene.
Did
this
you make
was a
him
bad
get in the
scene.
hot tub? Because that would be creepy.
No, thankfully, your luck, it's just been pulled out of storage for the winter. It's full of leaves.
Oh.
So tomorrow, it was too cold today, but tomorrow I got to get out and clean
Usually
it
he
out.
likes to lure people into his hot tub and give him his balls then.
Oh.
Yeah, in the hot tub. It's just something. It's an experience. It's not just a moment.
I don't really think we can say anything else after that.
That's
I think that's probably it. So, Tony, thank you so much for listening to the show. Thanks for always commenting on our socials and providing us with awesome music and just being an all-around really cool person and a friend of the show and friend of us. So thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it.
Well,
man.
thank you.
All right. And with that, we will see you next time. Later!
Small beef, you need to be the soup. Yes, yes.